And by the renewing of your mind, your life is transformed. Or at least that's the way the Christian says it goes. I think there's a lot to that idea of renewing your mind, getting like a new mindset. And a good example of that is how oftentimes the Christian will see things, when they see through the lens of Christianity, like all their experiences and things that are happening to them are all run through that lens of that, God's in control and he's running things, and oh, isn't that neat, God blessed me, he knows this, gave me this before I even knew, and all these, and it's all just taking everyday circumstances and again seeing it through the lens of the Christian faith. Whether or not doing that means that it's real or not is another thing. And of course, I don't believe that it is true, and that what you're seeing is just merely a change in the way that people think about the world around them when they decide to embrace Christianity. And that's what we have. I was just thinking, what got me thinking about this video was, to make the video, was just thinking about circumstances in my life, and how things sort of always end up working out. So you say, oh, God is good, and your basic needs get met in life. Maybe you don't get all the things you want, but God's really looking out for you, and he's opening up these doors and making and going before you and making your path clear, as I think they say in the Bible. And again, there's really no basis to believe that other than just faith. I mean, just that you want to believe it. Does God probably really do that? I mean, no, probably not. I don't know that. But if you want to say that he does, why would he do it one time and then that's where the Christian comes back and says, well, it's okay. God can pick and choose, what doors he opens and what doors he closes in your life, because he's God. He has control over that, right? And so, anyhow, I just think that this flawed thinking, when the Christian embraces it, like it says, by the renewing of your mind, you can't think about things like the normal rational person would think about it. No, when you embrace Christianity, you have a whole different, like I said, lens in which you view and things that you associate and things that you infer and whatever. So, it's just like, I don't know. That doesn't mean that what you believe and put your faith into is real, and that it's all it is it's just a way of thinking that we embrace. And to me, that's all it is. Now again, I don't know that God doesn't exist. I suppose God could. It seems very less likely to me that he exists, but just because you want to think something's a certain way and you want to infer or you want to associate everything in your life through the lens of belief in God or a divine creator, okay, I mean, yeah, but doing so doesn't mean it's any more or any less true. It's just you doing all the thinking and you interpreting and processing your life experiences and then giving it certain meaning or giving it certain associations with God or with not, or the devil or whatever. Oh, the devil must really have it in for me because things are going bad in my life right now. No, bad stuff happens all the time. So why do you have to associate it and think that it has to do with some spooky devil man in hell with a pitchfork and horns in his head? I mean, it's just kind of ludicrous. I know for some of you watching this, you're like, yeah, I mean, but this is it's common sense stuff. But that's what happens, is the suspension of reality when you embrace it. All of a sudden, all the logical and rational thinking that you did, or that the average person does, all of a sudden goes out the window, and now everything's run through that Christianity filter. And you have to interpret all your experiences and every meaning in your life and everything that happens is filtered through God. And it's like, and because that's what they're instructed. And I get it. That's what Christians are taught. They're taught that way. They're taught to view their life through the lens of their faith. And that's associations that they make. But making those associations and inferring this and that and saying, oh, it was God that was doing this and God has his hand on the situation, doesn't mean that he really does, just because you want to believe it. And if it makes you feel better to believe it, hey, you know what? So be it. But to me, I think the whole flaw part of Christianity is the fact that you have to renew your mind. You have to absorb, or you have to take on this new way of thinking that kind of defies all rational and logical thought. And that's what one of the biggest things that I had a hard time with was like, you know what, I can't keep suspending that. I can't keep pushing off these rational thoughts and these things that I have just so that I can interpret that some sky man, is in control of everything and running your life. And it's just, I mean, I get how comforting that is, but again, it's all up in the mind, I think, is where it happens for Christians. And with Christianity, that's what it's all about. You just embrace this new way of thinking that the average person would probably not think, the average rational person would probably not embrace. And now, when you do, welcome to Christianity. See you next time.